Hello and welcome! Today I will bring you a quick tips and tricks video for Live2D. This video is for beginners, but I will assume you know your basic way around Live2D. This is like help with details and such, so I will go through these 9 things. How to make smoother looking jiggles, this includes boobs and tears. How to make maximized hair physics, parameter explanation, how to import expressions into facerig, mouth parameter, and how to make objects go over each other. To begin with, we will be working with jiggle physics. This does work with everything, but I will be using boobs as an example. So after you have your texture, you will be needing to make 2 parameters, boob Y and boob X. I already have my parameters, but I will be showing how I made it. So the minimum will have to be -1 and the maximum 1. If you go higher, it will take longer for the parameter to go all the way to, the maximum point. And if you make it lower on this side, it'll take a longer time for the parameter to go to the minus side. And the lower you make these numbers, the easier it will be for them to go to each other. This will create like a more intense jiggle looking physic. But with the boob Y, you will need them to go side to side, and with the boob X, you need them to go up and down. Later you can combine these and make sure that they go all the way. After you've done this, you need to go to the physics blending settings, and you need to create a new group. I usually just call this boob, and let's go bust input, and then because I have small, I will be doing a small bust. This right here is what your model will be following, or the physics will be following. This here is which parameter wants to jiggle, obviously. So we will be beginning with, I forgot to write this. I'm just gonna delete this one because I already have a thing. Whoops. Okay, so you will be needing to make 2 groups. You need boob side and boob up. We're gonna start with boob side. In the output, I pressed boob Y so it can go to the side. And input settings, this is what your model will be following. Here it will usually say body. I have created so my model only uses the angle. But if you've used body, you might want to add that one as well. But I haven't, so I placed all mine on angle. So because I wanted to go side to side, I pressed the angle here and I have angle X. I also want that when the model goes side to side like this, that the boobs also go. So type here, I've placed position X, and I've put the effectiveness on 100. This, as you can tell, makes the model move as effectively as possible to the side. Later, you want to do another one with the exact same, but it's boob up. This one you want to have, let's see, here. Boob X is here. For it to go up and down, here, Y. Whoop, 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 whoop. I seem to have accidentally misnamed my outputs. But that's okay, you guys get the point. I've done the exact same thing here, and I have created that when the model goes up, it moves to one certain movement, and when it goes to the side, it creates a different set of movements. So next thing we're going to go through is parameter explanation a bit further. We did discuss it a bit in the jiggle physics section, but I'm going to go a bit more in depth in it here with the expressions. But what we're going to discuss now is the expressions. So I've got my old model here. I have a few expressions here, and then also removing glasses in my beret, my old model. So because I am on the free version, I cannot make any more parameters on this one, so I will be quickly showing how to make a parameter on my old model. But when you come to the parameter part, this is the important part. So what you need here, you can name it whatever you want. So I'm gonna do blush. Then this is also an important thing. I'm gonna name my ID thing blush. Here this is also quite important. Minimum, default, maximum. So default, this is what your model is gonna look like in its, when it's chilling stage, when it's not doing anything. So this will, for me, will stay at 0. This I will also move at 0 because I want, when it's at no expression, when the expression isn't showing, I want that to be the default. This cannot be lower than 0 because facerig cannot pick it up. Maximum I will do 1 because it'll go faster for the expression to summon itself. Remember that the ID is blush. Then we press OK. Well, I won't be needing this now, but what you would do, I won't be doing blush now, but I will quickly show what I would do with these glasses. So I would place 2 keyforms here, and I would turn the opacity, oh, this is for the the wrong thing, there, and I would turn the opacity to 0, and so when I would press a button, the glasses would appear. Now I have this for a facial expression already, but I wanted to show it more in depth with the parameters. Now, after you have your all your expressions of what you want and stuff, but we will later be needing, after we have exported it, be needing to make a CFG file. So how to make a CFG file? Let me quickly So what you will be needing to do is obviously a text document, which will be a txt file. Now, I already have one here, which is my original one. And here, we're gonna ignore these, but this friendly name is basically the nickname that will be in your, the nickname that will say in facerig. And then if you wanted a description, set avatar skin description, your model's name, then in between these, yeah. But here's what the important thing comes. Set special pose param blush. Whoops. So let's see, let's show the blush one. So here's the blush. So set special pose param, this is the basic command. Here's what your model is called. Here is the ID. So as we remember, the ID on this one was blush. And here is the default, or when it was at its minimum, which for us was 0. And here's when it was at its maximum, which was 1. Let me just show that again. When it was at its minimum, or default for us as well, and then when it was at its maximum. Then we have where it says 1, 2, and 3 here. In facerig, there are different set keybinds for special poses, and I think default is ZXC and V. There's 4 of them. And so this one would be Z because it's 1. This one would be X because it's 2. Yeah, and you get it. This would be C because it's 3. And if I wanted a fourth one, it would be V. But on mine that I have right now, let's see if it works. I have my ears going up and down. I'm not sure if it's working right now. But after you've finished this, you will have, your finished text document. You go to save as. I usually delete this one here. All files, then cc underscore your model's name .cfg. cc underscore is important. There, and now you've created a CFG file. And then when you start facerig, you should be able to use special poses Z, X, C, and V for your said, parameters. The next thing we're going to go over is how to maximize hair physics. So, as you can see, one thing I've used is these. They are called, let's see, it's this little thing here. I cannot see what it's called, and I do not really remember. But on the art mesh, I have placed these. It is so you can grab a certain section of the hair, and I can move it as I please. This, note, this is part of the art mesh, and so you need to be careful when you use it. But when you, let's see, where is my hair? Here we go. Side. As you can see, when I do hair, it really flows. Oh, you can hear that. There we go. It goes in like a curving matter or a shape, as hair would. I have done, I usually would make more parameters. Note, hair parameters start at minus, or minimum being -1 and maximum being 1. This is so that it doesn't take as long time for this little key point here to go from the one point to the other, and so it's a more quicker and drastic movement. This I also go for the small hair details. We have this one, this one I'm also going to, and this one as well, have moved by themselves. I also have this one. And so when you later go into hair physics and blend, I've created a hair, bangs. I have my side hair. I've created those for those that I want to create jiggle for, or not jiggle, movement. So I will go to bangs to explain. Now the same thing goes for as the boobs, that you place it. The input goes for what you wanted to your model's jiggle thing to follow. So I've placed mine that I want them to go to the side, follow when they go to the side. I also have one for when the bang goes up, I think. No, I don't, never mind. But you can create for when you bang, how you want your bangs to look if they go up instead. But right now I just have for when they go to the side. But let's see how it looks like. This is how it would look like this. But here is, I don't fully know what this means, but I know that the lower reaction is, the more it's going to move. Shaking, duration is duration. Shaking is, I do not know. I don't know what these two mean, but I know that the lower reaction is, the more it moves. So if I would turn this to 10 instead of 1, you see the bangs wouldn't move. See how it looks if I do 0.5. Yeah, that's a, now it stays at the, it looks a bit weird. It's customization to what you prefer. Output settings being what you want to move, and input settings being what you wanted to follow. And I had the angle X. Yeah, as you can see. The next thing I want to show is how I made the ears go down. Let me find where I put my ears. Here. This is also done as a expression parameter, so it starts at 0 and the default is also 0, but I did it so it goes up to 10 instead because I wanted to take a bit longer time. Now, art-wise, this is 3 different textures. And you could probably do this a bit nicer. I just did it to make it easier for myself. But I have the hair base, which is almost completely blank. So that when I, turn it down, it stays simple looking and doesn't create any weird creases for me. Then I have, let me move these back. Then I had this, the behind part, which is quite a large texture. It's just hidden behind here. And then I placed another one of these here, so that when I can go down, I can mold this to go down as I please. So this one was originally looking, I think, pretty like this or something. Yeah, like that. Something like this. And I made it much smaller and I curved it using these to fit how I wanted it to look. And then I did the opposite on the other side. As you can see, they're not that similar. But the same tactic goes for this one. And that's how I made the ears go down as I please, using a keybind and facerig. So it's the same technique as the expressions. The next thing I'm going to discuss is the mouth. As you see, my mouth goes a bit, you know, it's a bit more realistic looking, a bit more smooth. This is when I use mouth open and form together. Whoops, there's a bit, that you guys didn't see that. But mouth form is basically smile and frown. But then I've also taken the opportunity to make it work as in when a mouth movement, when you make like an O sound, the mouth is a bit more closed and is a bit more circle-ish. I have taken the opportunity to make the mouth react in such a way when I say certain letters, because the mouth, if you smile with your mouth open, it becomes quite large, and so when I have the full smile, the mouth becomes a bit larger, but when I have my normal face and I open my mouth, it goes a bit smaller. Now, this is, I skipped the sad one because I noticed that it didn't react much and I wasn't able to. It was just unnecessary because it never showed up automatically by itself anyways. Now, what I did to begin with is I created mouth open by itself. The reason I have an extra parameter or key point here is because some things just don't want to cooperate, and so I created an extra key point to make it look smoother. Yeah, as you can see here. There. The only reason I had that, otherwise I would have gone with just these three. Now, after that, I created the mouth, smile and frown. Then I think form was above open, but I preferred open being above because it would have created a different... I'm having several issues here, but I think my point can still come across. If I moved it, let's see. If I do this up and down, this way, mouth open, and then you can see frown and smile. And then, yeah. Yeah, you can see that when I move it to the side here, the mouth opens, and when I take it up and down, it smiles and it frowns. But if I took it the other way, it reacted in a way I didn't like, so I just moved them around. Oof, now it doesn't want to work. Okay, now it doesn't want to work. But yes, that is basically how to make a more smoother looking mouth physics. I have been a bit lazy with mine, so you can see there's several issues, but this is very easily fixable. Yeah. Now, the very last thing we're going to discuss is how to make objects go over each other. So when you see my thighs here, let's go all the way down. See, they change position there, so one goes over the other. This is because the draw order. These are the draw orders. Basically, the higher the number, the further up in the draw order it is. And so if we check this leg here and we look at the draw order when I change, it switches. Oh, I was for the shorts or something. But they switch. Yeah. As you can see there. the draw order switches, and that's just by creating key points with the art mesh and just taking the draw order down. But the higher you make something, you might, if there's something that is above this naturally, you will have to make that one's draw order higher as well. So I've made both of these quite high. Whoops. Oh, I think this leg was the one. 5. Yeah. See how it's 500 there? But when it goes over, it's 510. That's how you create objects go over each other. I could, if I went this one back to 500, it would be underneath. But yeah, 510, and it goes above because the draw order is higher. Alright, yes. Thank you for watching. I hope I made some sense. I am quite illiterate, but I really did want to help with these small details and tips and tricks that I managed to find around the way. If you want to possibly commission me or follow any of my social media, they are right here by their side or linked down in the bio. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have more questions, just ask them either privately message me on Twitter or Discord, or write them in the comments below, and I might make a second video to just explain a few things if needed. Yes, thank you for watching. Goodbye.